hello. Hello and welcome, dear Sangha. It's good to see you, good to be with you, and to practice together. So, for today's theme of practice, I'd like to invite us to consider metta, loving kindness, friendliness, in the form of appreciation for ourselves. Normally, being human, we go through our lives, and given our evolutionary heritage, we tend to focus on what is not going well, what is a problem, what is negative, especially about ourselves. What is wrong with our body, if our body is not the right shape, size, if it's not functioning the right way, if it's not healthy, or our habits of mind, our behavior, our likes, our dislikes. We often focus on what isn't going well. We spend so much more time doing that than to actually stop and appreciate, wow, this human body that's serving me, this person who is me. And so the invitation, and there, of course, there are reasons for that, as I was mentioning, are not necessarily great reasons, but really convincing and good reasons, because as we have evolved, those ancestors who have passed on their genes, they were the ones who were watching out, looking for dangers and what's wrong in the environment. Those are the ones who survived. Those are the ones who survived and managed to pass down their genes. But the ones who focused on the positive and didn't focused on maybe the berries and what was positive in the environment, and not what was scary and challenging, the woolly mammoth, etc. They didn't live to pass down their genes. So those are the genes we have. We have the ones from the anxious ones, from the ones who focus on what's not going well, what's not going right, what's scary, what's dangerous, what's unpleasant in the environment. So knowing that, to bring balance by cultivating appreciation for the good, because the more we appreciate the good, the wholesome, the what's good about us, the more we expand our capacity for resilience, to take in the good and to also withstand what is challenging, what is difficult, the waves, the both the waves of life as well as the tornadoes of life, whatever weather metaphor you like to use. We can better withstand if we open up, if we cultivate, turning our minds to what is wholesome, what is good, to increase our stability, our resilience. That's one way to think about it. But I want to bring in another perspective tonight, and that is something that really touched me. Actually, I think I've shared many times with you here that I have an interest in many reports that people share, people who have clinically died, and what's called near-death experiences. And there are books written on this and various research studies on this. And recently, and again, who knows, not to take it as a word of faith. These are just personal accounts. And And yet they can serve as inspiration. They can serve as inspiration. So as a way of inspiration, not to set, truth that it's one way or the other. I was recently watching actually on YouTube. I can share the pointer later and Neil can send it to the Google groups. There was a man who had an experience like that, and he flatlined in the ER. And one experience they were sharing, which is quite touching. They said that as they were, from the corner of the ER room as they're being operated on, as they looked down on their body for the first time ever in their life, they felt appreciation for who they had been, for who this person was. For the very first time, they appreciated this person who was them. For the first time, they appreciated this body that had served them through their lives. And it's so touching to have that perspective, to take on, for us to take on that radical perspective of appreciation. We don't have to have an accident in order to take that perspective on, for us to open us up to this different way of seeing ourselves, different way of seeing life, our bodies, not the habitual way. And also, it is said that the closest way to have an ND experience is through meditation. We can actually access so many of these insights through actually taking them on, playing them on for size, taking them on and just trying them on for size. So this is the invitation for tonight, to, as if we were looking at ourselves from a perspective, from a third person perspective, as if you're looking down at this body, like, wow, can we appreciate this person who is me? Can we appreciate this body that has served us as well as it has possibly been able to? So I've talked plenty tonight. That is the frame for our practice together. So with that, I'd like to invite us to land in our bodies, to arrive. Arriving, settling, embracing. As if for the first, as if for the last time, greeting this body, not taking it for granted. This impermanent body of ours, this gift that is ours and not ours. We haven't chosen it. Just a miracle. Turning the gaze of awareness inward. Inviting, inviting. This breath to be received. Not the last breath, not the future one. Just this, not rushing through the breaths, taking our time, receiving, welcoming. Celebrating this breath received, this breath celebrated, received in the abdomen. Turning our awareness inward to our hands, sensations of the hands, these amazing hands, incredible. Appreciating. Appreciating the grace of these hands, feeling the sensations. Bringing awareness to our feet, touching the earth, feeling the sensations, bottom of the feet, top of the feet. Amazing, amazing feet. So many muscles and bones that enable our walking. Feeling our sit bones, our bottom on the cushion. Inviting it to let go of any holding tension, relaxing, releasing its weight onto the cushion, thereby feeling the contact points, softness, hardness. Inviting our awareness to imbue our face, our forehead, the eyes, inviting them to rest in their socket, jaw, chin. From our head down to our neck and shoulders, hands, chest, upper back, relaxing the lower back, abdomen, sit bone, legs and feet, the entire body, this amazing body, receiving the breath, breathing on its own. No need to observe the breath from the control tower, letting the body, the wisdom of the body receive the breath. Appreciating this breath, this in breath in its entirety, this out breath in its entirety. Received, imbibed. As if you're drinking every breath in this body. Filling every cell. From your toes to your hands, to your face. Appreciating the impermanence of every breath of this body. Working as well as it possibly can. Serving this being who is me through my life. I'd like to invite you to take on this perspective to play with. Try it on for size. As if you're looking at yourself, this being who is you, or who was once you, looking down on this being from the ceiling, as if you're in the ceiling corner of the room. Can our heart open to appreciation to this being whom we were up to a moment ago? This imagined scenario. We are no longer. We once were. Can we appreciate this person, this being? Their trials, their tribulations, their intentions. They did their best. Can we love them wholeheartedly? Thank them, appreciate them for having lived this life, for having gone through the labyrinth of this life as best they could. From this perspective, can we appreciate this body just as it was? Doing its best, this mind, this heart. Can we love? Can we love non judgmentally, accepting, appreciating non judgmentally, wholeheartedly? Given the chance to be this person who is me, given the chance to be this person again, can we be kinder, gentler, more loving, accepting, more at peace? With this person who is me. May I love and accept myself just as I am. May I hold myself with kindness. May I love and accept myself. This body, this heart, this mind. May I hold myself with kindness, care, and acceptance. Life is uncertain. Who knows what can happen at any moment? We may stop being this person who is us in this moment. Can we love and appreciate this being just as it is? Understanding all the challenges, aspirations, and wholesome intentions. the remaining minutes, see what's needed. Would it be helpful to revisit the perspective of seeing yourself down below, as if from the corner of the room, person that you once were? Does that bring up appreciation, love, compassion? The person you had the chance to be, to once be, and no longer can be. Or is it helpful to come back, perhaps after this experiment in thought? And feel yourself here in this body, appreciating the person you are, this body, and your life. For the last moments of this practice, letting go of whatever arose or did not arise. It's all okay. Appreciating your wholesome intention, appreciating yourself, your practice, showing up. And relishing the goodness, trusting the goodness of your practice, sharing and sharing it with others generously. May all beings be well. May all beings be free. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your practice. So we have time for reflections, questions, comments, and I wouldn't be surprised if for some of you at least, this practice proved emotional to take this perspective, or challenging. It's all okay. It's all okay. And would love to hear what came up for you. So much more I can say, but I like to open the floor. You can raise your hand, especially if you haven't shared in a while. Would love to hear from you. And you can also type in chat. If you type to me individually, I won't read your name, just your comment. And if you type it to everyone, I will read both your name and the reflection. Don says, you were on fire. Awesome. Thank you. Accepting myself is difficult. I really appreciate when you said that I did not choose myself. Yeah. Thank you for that, Don. Yes. We do not choose ourselves. Isn't that interesting? This life is such a mystery. We take ourselves so personally all the time, and yet so much of who we are is not personal. Isn't that wild? And yet, to take that perspective that it's not personal, it doesn't come easily, right? We need to sit, practice in these creative ways for it to really land. It's not personal. And yet it seems so personal, both. Fred, please.
I'm afraid what I'm going to ask is going to be just too personal to me, but I'm going to ask it anyway since I have the opportunity. So for the last month, I've had this really vexing tinnitus, ringing in my ears after a fall. And it's very difficult to concentrate during meditation. It's very difficult to include the ringing in the experience. More difficult than, a pain somewhere else. And I'm also exhausted because I'm not sleeping. And I wondering if you can if you have any advice to me about how I might be able to proceed.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred. Thanks for bringing this up. And this is not the first time, of course, that I hear of something that of this condition of tinnitus. So, and know of other people who have worked with it, actually specifically with mindfulness as a way to work with it. So here's the invitation I have for you, Fred, and others who work with tinnitus or other, say, pains in the body like this, which seem distracting, disruptive. I would invite you to investigate with curiosity, with openness, with interest. If there is an attitude, if there's an underlying attitude of aversion towards this, because it really is the aversion that makes that hooks it in place and makes it very difficult to work with. At the time when you see the aversion, when you work through the layers of aversion, when it can be held as just another sound, just another ache, just another thing, just that, that's the moment that it will lose its power. So my intuition, my invitation to explore if there are either gross levels or subtle levels of aversion and pushing it away.
They're very gross levels.
There you go, Fred. Then that's it. That's exactly it. So working with it gently, and if the moment comes, if the question comes, when the question comes that, can I be okay? Can I be at peace? If this never goes away, if it's just here, and the answer comes back yes, then that's the moment that you have freedom. It will not bother you anymore. You may not even notice it after that.
Well, that sounds wonderful, but actually getting there sounds, I don't actually perceive the course.
The course is little by little. Can I be okay with this just as it is in this moment? The answer might come back no. Okay. Then can I be okay with not being okay with this? Can I be okay with not liking this? Aversion. Yeah, I can accept that. I'm hating this right now. So what just acceptance, whatever you can accept, accept that. And little by little it will um dissolve or rather you'll go through layers and layers of acceptance little by little. So start where you are. Can you accept that you're hating it right now?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
good. If you can accept that, get relax into, yeah, I can accept that. I don't hate myself for hating it. No, I accept it. If you're there, great. That's the place to start. See if you can relax into, yep, I don't like it. Ah, can I accept that? Start there. See, feel the ease in your body and use that as a starting point to unwind.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome, Fred. One more reflection from Christine, please. And it needs to be quicker before we go into rooms. Please, Christine.
Oh, quicker. I don't know about quicker.
Okay, then bring it on.
Yeah, this meditation was highly appropriate to something that I was thinking about today, which is that when I really see how much I have suffered in my life for the self-hatred that I've lived with, um, I feel so overwhelmed with regret and grief that I just can hardly breathe. I mean, I just like that, just how much I've lost, and I just am not appreciating myself, and I just don't, and it's so huge. This regret, I just don't, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Christine. It's to grieve, what to do with it, to grieve, to grieve. It's okay. You don't have to push it away. To grieve, to just grieve. Make space for it. Can you love yourself and grieve? Doesn't have to be one or the other. It's okay to grieve without kicking yourself. Can you grieve and love yourself? Because what I'm hearing is that in the grief is a lot of kicking yourself. Can you grieve and love yourself? Does that make sense? The shift I'm suggesting? Yeah. So you're not. Oh, I don't know if you want to say something again. I see your lips moving, but I don't.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the kicking myself is why did I do that? How come I couldn't have done it differently?
There is no point, my dear, in kicking yourself. It's it's throwing perfectly good moments after moments that are gone. So see if you can grieve and love yourself.
Mm.
I think that's the shift. So I'm going to leave that with you as a koan, and you can come back to it later if need be. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to create the room. There's one more reflection. I'll leave that I'll read it when we come back. But I'm going to create the rooms now so that you have some time to check in, share, be with each other, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. The rooms are closed. We just have about one quick minute. Any reflections you like to share relating to the practice tonight? What came up for you? Any quick ones, especially from the group? Hugh.
Oh yeah, thank you. I loved it. It sent me on a trip of appreciation down my whole family tree, really, down into deep into the roots of my ancestors, and the and perhaps because I went to like Susie's talk this morning about the four elements, it reminded me that my ancestral tree goes back beyond my immediate blood ancestors, down the whole course of evolution, back to through all of the animal species that preceded the emergence of my species out of the evolutionary process, and before the evolution, even the Big Bang that created all the matter that allowed evolution to even come into existence. And before the Big Bang, the whatever forces that made that Big Bang possible, whatever they were, I don't know.
This is great. Thank you, Hugh. I love it. So not only did this bring up appreciation for yourself, but so many ancestors and causes and conditions. Just this wave of appreciation. Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you. It's a wonderful note. Yeah, of appreciation. It can be endless, right? We start somewhere. It's like a thread. It's like a cloth, right? You keep pulling and pulling. The whole cloth is related. As Gosh, I'm blanking on who said this, but there's a physicist who said, in order to make an apple pie, first you need to make the whole universe. So in order to make Hugh, first you need to make the whole universe, Big Bang and everything. So I see your note, Bill. It's interesting idea. I'll think about that. That's a good one. And one more reflection that I mentioned earlier was from someone who said that spontaneously came up for them looking in the mirror and realizing, oh, there's a sense of love and kindness for themselves that they usually share for others and not for themselves. So a great reminder to be aware of this more often. So dear ones, thank you so much for showing up and your practice. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy, including ourselves.